begin lying down. So the blanket can be used for lots of different ways. It can be put underneath your head when you lie down. It could be put under your upper back, your lower back. You could make yourself up a little bolster by rolling the blanket, put underneath your knees, however you best feel comfortable. And then when you lie down, you can have your knees bent, or you can have your legs out straight. So either way that you feel comfortable, I'm going to go ahead and sit up and talk to you. But go ahead and lie down, everyone, and just allow yourselves to settle in here. Letting the face become smooth, letting the forehead smooth out as you just gently close the eyes if you feel comfortable, to bring your awareness inward that way. You may notice things around you in your home. So take notice of those things first, and then begin to slowly let those outward distractions, things around you go, and just take your full awareness into yourself. Notice how you feel as you begin the practice tonight. How does the body feel lying against the mat? You scan from head to toe. What do you notice? Are there any areas of tension or stress that particularly come right to the surface? And if so, I'll just invite you to be aware of those areas and see if you can really try to let go and release through any of the particular areas that you might be holding a little extra stress or tension in your body tonight. Check in also with the mind. Yoga is a practice for the body, mind, and spirit. So we're not only checking in physically, but also mentally. Are you able to let yourself and your mind be still, or are you having trouble keeping all of that monkey mind, all of the things that you might have juggling in your life right now? Are you having a hard time keeping those things at bay? I'll invite you as much as you can throughout this hour that you've set aside in your night tonight to really let go of things going on. We're all dealing with the same issue in our lives now, so it's kind of all in this together. So we can just take this hour to let go of those thoughts and worries and just keep ourselves present here in this time, giving ourselves this time to sort of nourish our bodies and let ourselves release some of the stress that we may be feeling. And then, of course, the ways that we really tend to do this the best in yoga is through our breath. And so I invite you all to begin to really hone in on your breath. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose as well. Begin to notice how the breath feels in the body, where the body moves with the breath as we begin. Let your body begin to expand as you inhale. So allowing the belly to expand, maybe the sides of the body, the rib to really expand as you inhale. And then as you exhale, notice how it gently falls back to the center, slightly contracts. For tonight, what we're going to work on for our breath work at the beginning here is to try to lengthen out our exhale a little bit. So as you inhale, feel the expansion in the body. As you exhale, releasing all the air out. As you complete the exhale, notice that there's a slight pause that you can lengthen out a little bit before you next then take your inhale. And so we like to call this lengthening our exhale. Just see if after we release our air completely on our exhale, see if you can allow that pause, it's sort of a natural pause, to go a little longer before you then take your next inhale. So in this way, we're really trying to work to bring ourselves into that deeper state of relaxation and calm, letting go of that tension by just lengthening out our exhale a little bit longer than our inhale. So taking a few more of the breaths in this way, where you're trying to get your exhale a little bit longer than your inhale if possible. And then we're going to all go ahead, and if your knees are not bent, go ahead and bend your knees. And then we'll draw both of our knees up in toward our chest, wrap our arms around our legs for a bundle roll hug here. And then sometimes it's nice to find a little bit of rocking side to side on the low back. That feels good. Or making some little circles, placing the hands on the knees and just making little circles one way and the other. And then go ahead and lengthen both legs out long on the mat and let both arms, kind of like a snow angel, just go out to your sides, reaching back overhead for a full body stretch. So see if you can lengthen out super long from the fingers to the toes. You're just lengthening out the body nice and long. Couple deep breaths here. Really letting it go. And then we'll bring our arms kind of like a snow angel back down to our sides. Bend the knees again. And then let's lift our hips and place our hands right underneath our low back here. And then we're going to begin to bring our legs straight up toward the sky here. So legs are up. You just start to feel the hamstrings start to lengthen out a little bit here. You can do a little point and flex as well. To take a couple ankle circles. And then we're going to come up to seated and then to all fours by doing what we call kind of like a hinge or a V-sit, where you're going to start to slowly lower your legs down. When they get about halfway there, begin to lift up the head, come up onto the elbows, and kind of use that momentum to bring yourself up. You can cross your legs then and come on over into a tabletop position or all fours. So you're going to line your shoulders up over the wrists and the hips up over the knees. We're going to begin some nice spinal work here with our cat-cow. So just letting the belly drop, drawing the shoulder blades back toward each other, looking up here, finding this nice cow pose with the arch in the back. And then rounding the back, dropping the chin down toward the chest, and finding your cat. So on your inhale, you'll drop into your cow. Exhale, rounding to the cat. I'm going to let you go ahead and just work in your own breath timing. Inhaling on the cow, exhaling on the cat. Now we're going to add on to this a little bit. So the next time you come into your cat pose, we're going to round right for cat. Sink your hips down towards your heels for a brief child's pose. And then we're going to draw forward again, right into cow. Exhale to cat. And then sink down to child's pose. So just one more little adding on here. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. And then sink it back. Take a couple more. And then we'll meet up in a neutral spine position. Okay, so that's where we're neither arching nor rounding the back, but we're right in the center. And we're going to begin to do some work for the side body. So let's draw our left shoulder and our left hip toward each other. So you're going to feel this nice length in the right side body, kind of a contraction in the left side body. And then straighten out to center, and then draw the right hip and the right shoulder toward each other. C curve stretch. And back to center. Let's do it again one more time to each side. Left shoulder to left hip. Back to center. And right shoulder to right hip. And back to center. Nice. Now from here, let's just start to get a little bit of movement in our body. Let's start to just rock our table. So we're just going to drop our hips forward and then push them back. Maybe you even want to circle this out a little bit. You could draw your hips around to the right and then back towards your heels and around to the left, making big circles if that feels like a nice release for you tonight. Or you can just keep it going straight forward and back, and you can have this be as big or small as you want. If you're doing the circles, you maybe want to go the other direction now. And then let's all end up in a child's pose. So we're going to draw our hips down towards our heels. Here, the blanket is a nice thing to put in between the legs if you need that for a little extra support when you sit back. You'll reach the arms forward, maybe drawing the forehead down to the mat. If it doesn't reach, a block is a nice thing to have handy, or you could even use a pillow if you're at home and don't have a block, or another blanket or a book if that suits you. So whatever you can find here in these times. And I just invite you to really allow yourself to ground in here. When we're in child's pose, there's a lot of our body that's making contact with the earth, with the ground. So allow yourself to feel that. Notice how the belly, you can really begin to feel the breath as the belly pushes against the legs and then comes away. One more breath, and then we'll come up again to all fours. And we're going to find our first down dog tonight. So walking the hands a little forward and the knees a little back behind you, tucking the toes, pressing into the palms, lifting the hips up, drawing the head and chest back toward the legs, and drawing the heels in the direction of the mat. And here, just to warm up, it's kind of nice to just drop one heel, then the other, just to warm it up. I'll be walking the dog. You may also want to bend both knees and extend if that feels better. Whatever kind of movements feel nice to warm up in this first down dog. And then let's look forward towards our hands and just take a little walk up to our hands. And we're going to find a forward fold here. Now, our knees can be quite bent still if this is kind of where we're at. If we're feeling a lot of strain through the hamstring, go ahead and bend the knees a little bit. You can use your blocks if you have them, or books or whatever. If you would like to rest your hands there, you could grab a hold of your legs or grab a hold of the elbows. And then allow yourself to let the neck go here. So really allow yourself, maybe making some little yes, no movements with the head. Here we can really release through the neck. And then we're going to slowly, very, very slowly come up to standing. So I just like to let those arms kind of be loose, and I start to just allow the spine to come up to its lengthened position, coming up to mountain pose. Nice, everyone. All right. So from mountain pose here, at the top of your mat, let's actually just take a second and get established in mountain pose. So your feet are about 2 fist width apart, maybe, if you kind of drop your fist down there, or about hip width apart. And then if you go ahead and lift up all 10 toes once, begin to feel all the 4 corners of the feet really making contact with the mat there. And then fan down the toes, beginning with the pinky all the way down to the big toe. And allow your feet to really be that stable grounding force that we want in mountain pose. We also then think about our legs a little bit in mountain pose, engaging through the legs a little bit, keeping our belly firm, opening up through our chest, rolling our shoulders back and down away from our ears, and spinning our palms out to the side. This is essentially our mountain pose position. You want to feel that someone was maybe taking a string at the top of your head and you were pulling you up so you're strong and steady. And maybe even close your eyes for a second here in this mountain pose and allow yourself to feel the stable grounding force of the mountain. We want to be thinking about being as stable and strong as we can, of course, right now. Turn again to the side. All right, so from here, let's open our eyes and just take a nice big up salute. Our arms are going to float out to the sides. We're going to reach up overhead. We can look up as we reach up, our palms come together, and then as we exhale, just bring them back down to our heart center. Let's try that again. Inhaling, reaching both arms up, looking up as we go up, exhaling, and back to the heart center. This time we'll take a little side bend with that. We're going to inhale, both arms up, bring our palms together, maybe do like a steeple hand here. Inhale, center, let's exhale and side bend over to the right. Keep grounded through the feet and hips. Inhale up to center, exhale, side bend left. Inhale up to center, and then just exhale the hands back to the heart center. Good. Let's now take a nice absolute with a forward fold. So we'll inhale, reaching up to an absolute, palms together. Now here we're going to take a forward fold. So you're just going to fold from the hips, following those arms all the way down, and wherever the hands come, they could come to blocks, they could come to the legs, the front or back of the legs, wherever it feels best for you. Knees can be slightly bent still if they need to be. Let's take the hands either to the shins or just to the floor. And now inhale and come halfway up. So now we're just lengthening out our spine here, getting into a long position. And then on your next exhale, fold it down again. Take the arms out to the sides. We're going to reach up again for that big up salute, all the way up overhead. palms together, and exhale the hands back through the heart center. Great. All right, so tonight I thought we would go through, I think we all need to be warriors right now, right? We're in a time when we are fighting warriors, and so let's do all the warrior poses tonight, warrior 1, 2, and 3. And we'll add some variations as we go through them. So let's begin with warrior 1. Let's step our right leg back behind us, drop our right heel, bend our left knee, and then our hips are oriented to the front of our mat. So if your mats are the long way facing me, that's probably a nice orientation. That's usually how I do class. All right. And then from here, once you're stable in your legs, let's bring the arms up overhead. So we're finding all this length through our body, reaching up high. And now here we're going to take a little bit of movement. We're going to hinge forward, coming forward, and then we're going to let those arms drop down. We're going to make a big circle here with the arms and then end up overhead again. Let's try that a few more times. Hinge forward, drop the arms down, big circle with the arms and chest here. Again, hinge forward, arms down, circle back, and up, holding at the end here. And then taking the hands to heart center and just stepping back to mountain pose at the top of your mat. Good. Let's try that with the left side now, warrior 1. Stepping the left leg back, dropping the left heel, bending the right knee. Hips are mainly oriented to the front here, even though they'll kind of want to come out to the side. We're going to try to keep them to the front. And then we'll bring both arms up overhead. Find all that length in your body. You want to ground down through the legs, steady, strong legs, but lots of lift up through the whole body. And then we'll go through that flow again here with the arms working through the shoulders. We hinge forward, drop them down, all the way up and around and overhead. Again, hinge forward, big circle with the arms, up and around. Find one more, hinge forward, circle down and up and hold. And then hands to heart center and step back to the top of the mat. Nice. All right, so going on to warrior 2 next here. We're going to start with our left leg, so then I'll kind of be facing you here. So let's step our left leg back. And this particular pose, we're going to be oriented more to the side of our mat. So in warrior 1, our hips were facing forward. Warrior 2, we're opened up here to the side of our mat. You're going to want to have your feet in a position where the front ankle intersects with the back ankle or in the middle of the back foot. That's kind of the foot setup here. And then both, you're going to bend your right knee and both arms are going to come straight out from the shoulders and you're going to look out over your right fingertips. So this is warrior 2. Begin to feel the legs really engaging here. Begin to almost push forward with your right leg and back with your left leg. You're going to split the mat down the center here. And then opening up through the chest, feeling the energy out the front fingers and the back fingers. And then now from here, let's turn our right palm up. We're going to reach it overhead, reach our left arm back, and take a reverse warrior. So now feel all this length through the right side of the body. And now we're going to come all the way down with our right elbow toward our right knee for extended side angle. Left palm is going to reach up and overhead. So nice big line up from the top fingertips straight down through that back heel. If you're really familiar with this pose, I've done it a lot, maybe you want to come even lower into this if that's a position for you. Or a lot of us feel comfortable just having the elbow right on the knee. We don't want to collapse forward. We want to allow our spine to be long here. And now let's find a little bit of forward and back here. So let's reach back to our reverse warrior. Take a breath and then exhale and come into extended side angle. Again, reverse warrior, reaching back and up, and extended side angle. One more time. Inhale, reach back, reverse warrior, And then extended side angle. And then let's come back up to warrior two. Bring your hands to heart center and then just turn and step back to mountain pose at the top of your mat. All right, we're gonna try it with the right leg, and I'm just gonna turn to this side so I'm still facing you here. Let's step our right leg back, bend the left knee, open up our hips to the right side of our mat here. Check in with your feet placement, both arms out to shoulder height, looking over your left fingertips. Engage through the legs here. Start to really find some work happening in the legs. And check your arms, making sure one isn't way up or down. And now let's go into that same flow here where we drop our right arm, turn our left palm up, reach back into reverse warrior. And then extended side angle, left elbow to left knee, right palm up and overhead. And we'll go back and forth a few more times, reverse warrior. And extended side angle. One more time, reverse warrior. And extended side angle and hold. Come back to warrior two again. Bring the palms together at the heart center, turn and step to the top of your mat. Nice job, everyone. All right. Our last warrior tonight is the warrior three. Now this is a balance pose, those of you who aren't as familiar with it. So you may want to be near something that you can hold on to perhaps, or even our arms are going to come out forward, so maybe even coming to touch like a wall or something might be an option if you want to orient yourself for this warrior three pose. We're going to actually go into it from warrior one because I think it's a nice way to get into warrior three. So we'll step back with our right leg and find that warrior one pose again that we did earlier. And then we're going to lift both arms up overhead, and it's kind of, you can think that you're going to just like toss a beach ball forward. And as you do that, you're going to allow the right leg to lift up as your arms stretch forward. And we're just going to bring that right leg no higher than hip height. We're going to flex the foot, keep our gaze at the floor, balancing on that left leg. This is warrior three. Again, if you need support by holding on, and the leg doesn't have to come as high either, that's fine. Now see if you can, with control, as much as possible, step back to warrior one, and bring hands to heart center, and step back to the top of your mat. Okay, warrior three on the other side. Left leg back, bend the right knee. Arms come up overhead. Maybe think of that beach ball that you're going to toss overhead as you let your left leg lift to about hip height. Arms come straight out from the shoulders here. See if you can keep those hips level. Sometimes one wants to come up higher than the other. And if you step out, you just step right back in. And then when you're ready to slowly with control, come back to warrior one. Try that. And then hands together and step up to the top of your mat. Nice. Okay, let's go through a few sun salutations here to warm up even further and bring some sun into our lives that we definitely need every day. So we begin these at the top of our mat in mountain pose. We inhale to absolute, reaching up, looking up. Exhale, we swan dive forward. So you're bending from the hips, coming on down. Hands to shins, inhale and look halfway up. Exhale, fold down and step the right leg back behind you and come up into a crescent lunge. So now, difference here is that we're on our right toes, okay? We haven't dropped our right heel. So this is a crescent lunge, a high crescent lunge. Let's reach both arms up overhead. And bend the elbows and bring them out to the sides for what we call goalpost or cactus arms. And then maybe even see if you can really open up through heart center, get a little bit of a back bend here, opening up. Perfect. And then we come all the way down to a low lunge, and we step back to plank pose. Now here you can modify by dropping down onto your knees. From here we go to chaturanga, so you can drop to the knees first, or hinge forward, bend the elbows, and slowly lower down onto the belly. Tops of the feet come to the mat, hands to the sides of the shoulders, elbows back toward the ribs, looking up into a small baby cobra. And then we're going to come back through all fours, tuck the toes, press back, downward facing dog. Just take a breath here. Now our right leg needs to lunge forward into the crescent lunge again, so you can lift it up into a three-legged dog, and then bring it forward, however it needs to get up there. And then when you're ready, rise up into crescent lunge on this side. Both arms up, and maybe open out into that goal post, opening up the heart center, finding a little back bend here. Nice, and then hands down as you step forward to forward fold at the top of your mat. Now take a reverse swan dive, both arms coming up, overhead, palms together at the top. Exhale the hands back through to the heart center. Nice, let's try one more round of sun salutation here. Our left side leading. Inhaling to absolute. Exhaling, hinge forward, diving forward to forward fold. Hands to the shins, inhale, lengthen up halfway. Exhale and fold forward. Left leg back and come up to a crescent lunge again on this left side. Do a little different version this time. We'll take both arms up overhead, but we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a lunge. We're going to bend our left knee and drop down, and then push it up again. And then drop it down, push it up. 3, 2 more, 4, and 5. Nice. And then we're going to come with our hands down and step back to plank pose. Drop to the knees if needed. And then chaturanga, drop knees first, or just hinge forward, bend elbows, slowly lower down to the mat. Tops of the feet hit the mat, hands to the sides of the shoulders, cobra, or perhaps up dog if you want. If you're warmed up enough to lift the hips up, that's an option, your choice. Come back through all fours, tuck the toes, find down dog. Left leg is our leader now, so you can bring that forward into a three-legged dog, and then lunge it forward, and come up to crescent lunge, left leg forward. Get your balance and stability. Both arms reaching up overhead. And then let's take 5 of those little knee bends here. 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nice. And then we'll step forward to forward fold at the top of your mat. And then we're going to reverse our dive. Swan dive, coming all the way up to an absolute. Maybe you even take a little back bend here as the palms come together. And then exhale the hands back through to the heart center. Wonderful. Very good on that. Let's go ahead and work on some more balance tonight. We did, of course, our warrior 3, which is a nice balance pose. But let's take a couple more. So again, I will just cue you that you may want to hold on to something if balance is a challenge for you and you don't want to be on your mat without something to hold on to. All right, let's first take what we call crane pose, and right from there we're going to go to tree pose. So if you're going to take all the weight on your right leg, begin to lift up your left knee. So it's, about even with your hip, or it could be higher, or lower if you want to. Maybe take hands to heart center and just find all of that strength and stability in your right leg here. So anchor down. Now we're going to go right into tree pose. So we're going to let our left knee go out to the side. First step would just be to put the toe right down and let the heel rest against the leg. Second step would be to just lift that up a little bit higher. If you want to come up higher, avoid the knee and maybe take the foot and come all the way up into that inner thigh area for this version of tree pose. And then maybe arms go up overhead if you want, or maybe they go to cactus, or just stay at your heart center. Deep breaths here, steady and strong like a tree. And then let's go ahead and bring our knee back to center, crane pose again, and then exhale and lower. Nice. Okay, let's try that same thing with all the weight in our left leg now. So we begin to feel the stability and strength in the left leg as we lift our right knee to about hip height or wherever it feels comfortable. Taking hands to heart center again. Deep breaths, engaging through the core here with this knee up. When you're ready to open up into tree pose, you bring it to the side and you choose what level works for you. And decide where your arms want to go. If your tree wants to be tall tonight, or maybe it wants to open out to the sides. Or stay at your heart center, deep breaths, steady and focused here. And then slowly bring the knee back to center and let it go. Nice. Okay, we're going to work a little bit into our triceps by working on some work in chaturanga. So chaturanga, when we do the sun salutation, that's that sort of reverse push-up, that lowering down. So we're going to take some time to focus on that a little bit here next in this next sequence. So from the top of your mat, come into a forward fold and step back into downward facing dog. So from downward facing dog, we're going to lower to plank. This is a spot where we begin our work of chaturanga. Now, you can always do any of this from the knees. So you can do all of this work tonight that we're going to do from the knees. That would be no problem. If you want to stay up on the toes, we keep those hips lower here. And let's just begin to come forward a little bit, hinging so that we're just coming forward a little bit more. And then we can bend our elbows, keeping them in toward our body, and slowly lower all the way down to our mat. Tops of the feet. This is familiar here, like we did in the sun sals. Bringing the elbows in for cobra or up dog, your choice. And then we're just going to push back to child's pose from here. You can come up onto the elbows and forearms and maybe circle out the wrists a little bit, because we're going to go into that same setup. But we're going to go ahead and do 3 little push-ups in chaturanga before we lower down this time. So coming back to all fours and pushing up to downward facing dog. So from down dog, lower the hips to plank. Again, remembering dropping to the knees for your modification. Now let's see if we can do a few of these. Lowering down halfway and pushing up. Hinging forward, bending elbows, lower halfway, push up. Can we do one more? Lower halfway, push up, and then lower all the way, as much control as you can, all the way down to the mat. Tops of the feet hit the mat. Cobra or up dog, your choice. And then we meet up in child's pose. Take a breath, circle the wrists if you need to. We've got one more round of these. So come forward to all fours, push it up into downward facing dog. When you're ready, hinging forward to plank pose. Here we go. Let's see if we have a few more of these chaturangas. Bending halfway down, pushing up. Again, bend the elbows and lower. Push it up. If you have one more, if you don't, that's okay. Let's all meet up, lowering down to our belly. Tops of the feet. Push up to cobra or up dog. And push it back to down dog and breathe. Maybe separate the knees, have the feet together. Allow the forehead to release. Maybe bring the arms down by the sides if that feels good. And just take a couple breaths. And we're going to come up to a seated position. But we're going to perhaps be on a blanket. We're going to go right into Upavista Konasana, which is a wide-legged pose. So maybe if you want to, if this is a particularly tough pose for you, you can sit on a blanket. And both legs come out to the sides here. We're going to have our toes up toward the ceiling. We're going to have our spine nice and long, our chest open. So that's where sitting on the blanket just helps to have our pelvis tilted forward a little bit better. All right, so letting go here in the inner thighs, keeping the spine long, the chest lifted. You can stay right here if this is a super spot for you, just to be feeling that you're getting the perfect amount of release that you would like. For those of you who want a little more, you can begin to hinge forward from the hips, keeping the spine long, folding it forward a little bit. So as soon as you walk forward, you should feel a lot more sensation there, but just take to what amount feels right for you. Deep breaths. This is where that work on lengthening the exhale can really come in handy, because that exhale is where we find and release. Each exhale, you might feel like you can come a little bit, walk like 1 inch further, just release into it a little more. If you walked forward, go ahead and come back up to a tall spine again. And we're going to now take some work for the side of the body here. This is going to be a revolved side stretch. So we're going to take our right elbow with our palm up and kind of take it to the inside of our right leg. Turn our left palm up. We're going to reach up and overhead into a side stretch over to the right here. Try to ground down through this left hip and just feel all this length through the side body. You can maybe look up to that hand, that left hand if you want, or just look forward. And then exhale and let that left arm come all the way down. And let's try the revolve to this side, left side. So left palm up, kind of bring the elbow into the inside of the leg. Right palm comes up and overhead into a side stretch to the left. Maybe looking up to the right hand. Deep breaths, ground down through that right hip. And then exhale, come all the way up. Beautiful. Let's take both legs legs straight out in front of us for what's called staff pose or stick pose. Now you can continue to be on the blanket or not, it's up to you. We're going to have, again, the feet be flexed, so our toes up toward the ceiling. Maybe pull away the flesh so that we're really right on those sit bones. Begin to open up through the chest, shoulders back and down. Just finding this staff pose, really getting into the hamstring release. And then maybe taking Paschimottanasana, which is basically a forward fold in the same position. Both arms can reach up on a big inhale. And then as you hinge forward from your hips on an exhale, you're going to just come to wherever your hands might land, whatever feels comfortable for you. Try to keep the spine long, the bend happening right from the hips here. So you can feel those hamstrings lengthen out. And then let's just reach up again. And then the arms back down to the sides. Nice. Let's bend our right knee, place our right foot close to our leg and hug it into our body here. Reach our right hand just right back behind you, lengthen out through the spine, open chest. Reach your left arm straight up, and we're going to take a twist to our right side. So you can take the elbow to the outside of the knee, or just grab a hold of the knee as you begin your twist to the right. So whatever way works best for you. Sometimes when you have the elbow, you can sort of push it against the knee to bring, you want the belly to go through in the twist as much as possible. And then we kind of work through up into the chest and maybe even turning the head at the end of our twist. And then coming back out of our twist, we're going to go ahead and take a number 4 hip stretch in a seated position. So bending the left knee, take that right ankle and place it over the left knee, and then draw the right foot into the body as close as it feels good for you. I think the closer you come, I think the more I can feel that release in the right hip. You can flex the right foot. Have the fingertips on the floor behind you. A couple deep breaths in the seated number 4 hip stretch. And then we'll exhale and begin to lengthen out the left leg, take the right leg off. And we're going to go into our twist on bringing our left knee in close to the body, left foot to the ground. Reach back with the left hand, reach the right arm straight up, lengthen the spine, exhale and twist. Maybe elbow to the knee, or reaching a hold of the knee and taking your twist that way. So you decide whatever feels best for you. Getting that belly to come into our twist, and then the chest, and then our neck will be the last thing. Then on an exhale, you come on out. And we'll take our number 4 hip stretch on this side. So bending the right knee, left ankle over right knee, and then you decide how close you want to have that foot into the body, flexing our left foot, drawing the knee away from the body. I can start to feel that hip a little better there. You decide. Deep breaths. Wonderful. Lengthen out that right leg. Both legs now are going to be bent and both feet flat on the floor. I've got my hands just behind me. You can either have your fingers out to the sides or the fingers back away from you. It's up to you. We're going to just do what's called kind of windshield wiper knees. So we're going to drop both knees to the right and then both knees to the left here. Just letting both go. And then back to center, hug it in. We'll try it one more time. And then in this way, we're going to work our abdominals a little bit more. Because this time when we do our windshield wiper knees side to side, let's maybe just place our hands behind our head and see how we do that way. So dropping knees to right and then left. So holding in the core here as we go side to side. Couple deep breaths, engage the core. One more. Nice, and then draw the knees in, hug it in, lengthen the spine. Deep breath. Good. Now I'm going to turn, and then if you are not towards the top of your mat, go ahead and make sure you're up towards the top of your mat so that you have room behind you to come on down to your back again. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and take our selves down to the mat nice and slow. So we can lengthen out our arms straight out from the shoulders and then just slowly come on down to our back. One vertebra at a time. When we get down there, taking a bundle roll hug might feel nice. Taking a breath, maybe some rocking. We're going to continue with a little more abdominal work here. For the side body, we're going to just set ourselves up into where we've got our knees right over our hips. We're kind of just making the table position, but you're on your back. Arms are out to the sides. Make sure you've got at home here some space on either side of you, because we're going to begin to drop both of our knees over to the left, and we're going to come to about an inch or so from the floor and just hover here. We're just going to hold here. Get ready to engage the core and draw those knees back up to center again. And then we'll drop both knees over to the right, hovering about an inch above the floor, working this nice twist and working into the obliques. Again, engage the core, draw the knees back up to center. One more time, each side. Over to the left, hover about an inch above the floor. Draw the knees back up to center. And one more time, right. Hovering. And then engage through the core, draw it back in. Nice, hug it in again. And then let the arms and the legs float up toward the sky in what we call bear pose. So you should feel the whole back of the body here, really making some nice contact with the floor. And you're just going to now allow the legs and arms to be kind of loose, and go ahead and do some nice circles through the wrists and ankles, both directions in this bear pose. From bear pose, we'll go ahead and grab the sides of the feet and bring the elbows in towards the knees, and we'll go into happy baby here. So maybe some rocking side to side, or just kind of pushing that knee down one side, then the other. Awesome, and then back to center. Lengthen the body out super long again for a big full body stretch. So reaching back with the fingertips and then through the toes again. Lengthening out. Exhale. Let those arms come down. We are getting set for Shavasana. So if you're ready to go right into Shavasana, you can stay right here where you are, with letting your legs kind of go out to the sides, the palms up, the arms out. You may feel like you want to do something else before you come to Shavasana, so you're welcome to do that. Maybe it's a bundle roll hug or a little twist in the body. Maybe you need to put on a blanket or other clothing to stay warm. Whatever you need to do. go ahead and take a moment to make yourself comfortable for Shavasana. In Shavasana, we allow ourselves to let go. We allow ourselves to connect with our breath again, to bring us into a deeper state of relaxation and the state of letting go of any of that held tension in our body. So as you settle down on your mat, either on your back, you could be on your side, you could even roll over onto your belly. Shavasana can be done in a variety of ways. I just invite you to close your eyes and draw the awareness inward again. Maybe checking in with your body. You're now at the end of class, noticing how you may feel. If there are still a lot of areas of tension that you can feel in the body, I invite you to really bring the breath there and let go as much as you can through this last part of class. Deep inhales, maybe lengthening out your exhale like we did at the beginning of class to draw you even deeper into that state of relaxation and ease. If you can, keeping the mind just focused right here and right now. It will want to wander off to lots of things, maybe even being at home, it can be worse because we have a lot of distractions at home. See if you can allow yourself to be here in this time, just letting the breath ground you, bring you to that state of feeling like everything's at ease, even though things are not. Continue just to breathe deeply, letting that exhale lengthen the body, expand and contract with the breath. And one of the nice things about being in a virtual yoga class like this is that you don't have to get up and go home because you are home. And so I invite you, if you would like to continue to just stay in your Shavasana practice here for as long as you would like. There's no rush to go anywhere, so if you're feeling comfy and cozy, being able, as we end class here, to just turn off your computer and go back to some more time in Shavasana, that is a great idea. If you are ready to end the practice, you can come up to a seated position if you want to, or just continue to lie down on your back. And we end each session of yoga together in a mudra, which is just what you do with your hands. They come together and we bring them to the heart center. And it's a mudra called Anjali Mudra, which is a mudra of gratitude. And so we end with gratitude for our practice tonight, for this time that we had to ground ourselves, center ourselves during this time.